Hi, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Strategy Ninja. Today, I have with me two people, two co-authors from Business Expert Press, and they will be discussing on their book that they have co-authored, that is Discoveries Through Personal Agility. And the core central theme of this book is Personal Agility Lighthouse Model. So in this webinar, you will get to know a lot about this Personal Agility Lighthouse Model and how this model is implemented and what are the different applications of this model for different industries. So before we begin, a brief introduction about me. I am an author I have published a book with BEP on From Starting Small to Winning Big. And I'm also a business consultant and a digital marketer who help businesses grow. So let me first introduce you to Raji Sivaraman. She's a Singapore citizen and a principal of ASBA LLC. She's an advisor, professor, keynote and speaker and a consultant, and an Agile practitioner. She facilitates Fortune 500 companies with sustainable supply chain initiatives that are aligned with the UNSDGs, CSRs, BSRs, and mobility projects. She's a distinguished women leader of Singapore in 2013, and she's also a co-founder of Agility Discoveries. So, Raji, anything you would like to add to that?
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and Michal and I are very pleased to be here with you and looking forward to having this chat with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And his co-author is Michal Raczka, and he's a Polish citizen, and he's experienced in new technologies and digital business transformations. He's also an Agile practitioner, and he's a assessor of Project Excellence Awards as well. He's a lecturer for executive MBAs, and he's also a mentor and co-founder of Agility Discoveries. So Michal, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Strategy Ninja. It's a pleasure to have you both on my channel.
Yes, so thank you very much for your invitation, Shishir, and hello everyone. And we are happy to talk and share our perspectives.
Thanks. And before we begin, I will ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, you will find a lot of insights from experts such as Michal and Raji on different domains and on different expertise. So there are a lot of good, insightful videos on my channel. You can find the playlist as well. And if you have any questions related to today's session, you can drop in the comments, and I would take your questions or any of your queries or suggestions to Michal and Raji, so they can address them. So diving into the Personal Agility Lighthouse Model. So first of all, Michal, I would like to know more about your book, and I would like to give our audience an insight into what was the motivation behind writing that book.
Sure. So yeah, let me share my screen for the audience. Yeah, so answering your question and about our book. So Raj and my goal, or let's say our lighthouse, was to answer this difficult question about agile mindset. So how can we know if we are agile, basically? So having this answer in mind, next thing was to deliver value to our readers and to people who use our model. And the book, it was and it is a step towards it. So being agile means for us that we need to be customer focused, and we need to adapt to the feedback in order to deliver value to customers. So basically, this is the big picture of Agile. And regarding industries, so the most important to us was to validate our model, the personal agility lighthouse model, and its usage in different industries. So the question was how different industries around the world can apply our model. So, and the usefulness of our model is in their verticals, how they apply. So our book discovers through personal agility is a summary of the reasons for 7 agilities that we have chosen. Examples from large conglomerates and some examples from our research papers and the industry applications. And so we believe that this can enthuse a lot of people around the world and help to answer this fundamental question: what should I do in order to hone personal agility? And some examples of the businesses and industrial applications are green effort, data, education, palm oil, finance, and there are plenty more. So maybe Raji, would you like to add something about it?
Sure. Thank you, Michal. Well, first of all, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know who's going to listen and who will be listening in the future, because you'll have it as a YouTube channel. And like Shishir said, please do subscribe to the channel, because I think there's a whole bunch of stuff there that will be very valuable for you to make use of in your practitioner as well as your personal life. And on behalf of Agility Discoveries, Michal and I are very thankful to Shishir to have had us on your show. And to answer your to a question, Michal, well, let's see. I probably can share one of the industry applications that was written by Marisa Silva. She is in Portugal and she works in London, but when she heard about our model, the personal agility model, she decided to write something that was very relevant for this particular area and the state of mind and state of the world that we are in right now, which is, her title was, "Can the Personal Agility Lighthouse Model aid the COVID times in the project management world?" Of course, Michal, me, and Marisa, we're all part of the project management world, and we have our certifications and everything else in the project management world. So the 3 tips that she gave in her article about our model are, she said, be brave, be curious, be vulnerable, which means fail fast and learn fast. And she further went on to say there is always more than one path to manage expectations, which I think is very, very true. And of course, deliver something new and be a master of relationships. What I'm going to do now, Shishir, is that I'm going to turn the table around and ask you, did you find our model useful? I know that you have gone through it, and I know that you've spoken to me and Michal about it. So did you find it useful? I'm just turning the table around to you.
That's a very interesting question. And first of all, I would like to ask our audience if they want to learn more about the personal agility lighthouse model. There are some podcasts are there and some related materials are there available on their website, Agility Discoveries. So I'll also be dropping a link with to all the podcast and the reading material. And
thank you, Shishir.
You're most welcome. And coming to your question that how I found that the personal agility lighthouse model useful. So I have I have written an article that is my viewpoint. So I would like the audience to read that article as well, because I have detailed down a lot of my personal experience coming from the SaaS industries how that lighthouse model is very much applicable to the different scenarios that we come across in a day-to-day challenges that we face. So I personally feel that not only your personal lighthouse model is useful in the professional implementation, it is very much useful for personal success as well. So
thank you very much.
I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. Right, Michal?
Yeah, right. And the link to the Sushi article is on our webpage as well. So
yes, that's true. That's true. You know, if you want to go to IRIS, they are a huge media finance organization. We have partnership with them, and they have it in their website as well. But right now it's called Advisopedia. And so they've changed the name, so you can go there and see it as well.
Yes. So now that makes it all the more interesting, because people would like to know about the applications of your personal agility lighthouse model. So Raji, I would like to ask you how your PLH model is useful for sustainability to grow corporate businesses.
Sure. Let me give you a couple of examples. There you are. You know, in the screen that is being shared right now, you can see that there are about 17 of them, the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. We can certainly incorporate all of them into our businesses, one of them, two of them, and that's what all the Fortune 50s are doing. And I'm doing a lot of work with them. I'm just picking a few of them, and for the sake of time and very simple examples, though this is a huge ocean. If you see 1 and 2 in the screen, the goals talk about no poverty, no hunger. So that in our model is actually education agility. Now, if we are not empathetic and feel the plight of the people who are in need of food and basic needs, if no corporation is giving back, can you imagine how our earth is going to be in the long term, maybe even in the short term, right? Now, if you take number 4, the goal is quality education. In our model, that is learning agility. And we need to make sure that not only should we be eager to learn more, we should inculcate the same mindsets in others as well through various angles, mediums, generations. Now, political agility is needed for number 12. The goal there is responsible consumption and production. Me being in the logistics arena, I see this all the time in all of my corporations that I work with, and it's something that we need to have in our mind at all times. We cannot gouge everything and possess everything and not be ethical for one's own needs only. We got to go beyond oneself to be selfless. So the BSR, CSR, the corporate social responsibility, the business for social responsibility initiatives are all very crucial to eliminate politics. Now, I like 17 a lot. The goal 17 is all about partnerships for goals. Now here, I'd say that our cerebral agility, which means thinking of ways with like-minded industries, can and will be able to come together for the common innovative ways, as not only for the good for themselves as an industry, but the world at large, as well as being a parasite maybe in a symbiotic way. So you got to think outside of the box, which is cerebral agility in our model. Gender equality, now that is the 5th goal. If we cannot embrace change, then we have no choice but to learn to ride the waves, big or small. Otherwise, we cannot get to the lighthouse unscathed. In this case, equality of genders, that is change agility. Now, I'll just give you just one more 10 because we don't have much time. So the 10th goal is reduced inequalities. Emotions cannot come into play when we do things differently with different people and entities, as someone is going to get hurt at the end of the day. So honing emotional agility is key here. So outcomes agility will then be guaranteed for all of us to live and breathe in this world, in a better world that is sustainable in this solar system and beyond. At least that's what I think. Does that answer your question, Shishir?
Yes, it very much does. And this is like, I had interaction with Shane Brett. He's a fintech entrepreneur. He's into RegTech. So I think that something that is that complicated. So Michal, I would want to know how your model, personal agility lighthouse model, applies to the fintech industry. So that is like a very, I think it would be a big challenge to implement it there. Is it like so?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to share some examples from fintech banking. Let's say this professional industry, but very much regulated. So this is the one side of it, and another is sustainability is very important because it's about the safety of financial world. So yeah, so banking industry is changing very fast, and this fintech banking industry, the pace of change has increased due to rising competition from many startups and many different possibilities how to make transactions nowadays. And the innovations and focus on customer experience is, let's say, our daily bread. So the model can be applied and used by leaders in many different ways. So yeah, let me share some examples for some of agilities, not all. But let's take the first one, education agility. So here we talk about putting ourselves in customer shoes and creating cross-functional teams so they have different perspectives. And as example, yeah, let's say we want to deliver products that our customer loves. And at the same time, in banking, this fintech landscape, we have a lot of regulations. So it is not that easy to find this kind of sweet spot. So we cannot negotiate regulations. It's like it's a given, and this means sometimes hard way to create easy and nice products, safe products for customers. So here, what we do and what can be used. We can use customers' feedback and engage them in creation of the products. So, for example, we use something like family and friends tests with customers to learn and know more about customers, their behaviors, and their needs. So another example, but more internal, is how we create interdisciplinary teams. So first, we want to develop something like T-shaped skills or competences, and this concept of T-shaped people is well described in our book. So I'm not going into details. You can read in our book. But at the same time, we want to develop other cross-functional competences to create products, and from the important thing is to mix this business and tech competencies and perspectives. So because both of them are required to create digital experience and the customer experience. So what we, for example, emphasize that people from tech perspectives learn and educate themselves in business area. And the same in other ways. So people from business, they need to learn and master some tech skills and competencies. So communication then is much better, much easier, and products are much better. And another one is like change agility. So here we do a lot to decrease the cost of change, basically. So it's in order to make changes easy. And here I would use maybe not less personal, but more processes and how what kind of processes can be implemented to decrease the cost of change. So banks deliver values to customers through agile processes. We use QBR, so it's quarterly business reviews. process to manage change, and we use OKRs, so like objective and key results, to be able to adapt to change as fast as possible. And so process helps us to make this everything is easier, and to implement changes. Another example, political agility. So here I will use the Polish banking landscape. So a few banks, even though competitors, decided to cooperate and build a network with other banks in order to change payments market in Poland. So the service, the name is Blik, and it's very famous in Poland, and it's going to be more and more famous in Europe. But it was created as an outcome of it. So outcome of network of banks, and this is kind of very modern payment solution. And this is example of political agility. Yeah, it's in order to achieve this bigger goal, to change the bigger scope of the bigger market. You can create value and with your competitors. So above your own personal, like small goals, you can build kind of win-win situation. So this is perfect example of political agility. And let's say another one, learning agility. So banks are transactions oriented, and it means a lot of processes basically. And in order to change processes, we need to know them by heart, like really, like every step. So the best way is to see them, or to let's say visualize them. Yeah. So we can better understand. So having this in mind, we, for example, implement kind of end-to-end process mapping, or we started to implementing something like process mining. To really analyze processes. So based on this, we can see the whole process. We can foster learnings at all levels of in the organization, not like managers or consultants, but all levels, from operators to board of managers. And yeah, so we can improve much faster. So this is kind of example like this learning agility, that we learn faster, so we see better more, so we can implement changes much faster. And outcomes, yeah, this is all about this bigger picture basically, to make safe, reliable transactions, to assist customers in a life journey. So to satisfy and amaze customers, that is what is very important, because transactions and banking is like, yeah, the kind of daily bread. We use it all the time. Yeah. So yeah. So this is and just a few examples, and it could be a very long story for me. So
yes. So like I think like with the cryptocurrencies that are like now getting more traction, I think there would be a lot of interesting applications there as well. I think from your examples, I got a lot of food for thought of its implementation in the cryptocurrencies as well. So Raji, just to give you a brief, that the theme of my YouTube channel, The Strategy Ninja, is to give insights for startup entrepreneurs. So I would like to know from you how this personal agility lighthouse model can be useful for a startup entrepreneur.
This is something that I've been doing for a while, and I'm glad you asked me this question, Shishir, because the moment you started talking about it, what came to my mind is this question that I think we should ask. Are you empowering yourself to manage project changes with agility? That's a question that I would ask for this question that you have asked me. So what is empowerment? One theory says it's managing changes that drive your projects. Are you ready for the changes? That's what you need to be asking at all times. Are you inspired in the ways of dealing with change 360 degrees? Being agile and how it takes you to your now state and beyond. Something that comes to my mind is a quote from Robert Chu. He says, the struggle, oh, there it is, in the screen. So it says the struggle you are in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow, which is exactly what Michal was actually talking about with Blick. And I think, Michal, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Blick has now joined forces with Uber Eats. Am I correct?
It's like very wide used for payments. It's very reliable and safe payment method.
Exactly. So when they join force with Uber Eats, that is just endorsing Blick as well, because Blick is a Polish startup company. I mean, they started there, but now they're joining forces with a lot of others, and many banks are using them. Correct, Michal?
Yes.
So I think startups really need to see the now state as well as the beyond. And what I want to do is I want to go through a couple of points that I'm going to be making in the end of the month, where I'm going to be speaking at a United Nations event. And there I'm going to be touching on this topic, ideas and ideations to fruition. How does it take shape? What happens? And ideas to fruition takes shape when there is a clear goal which can be achieved through learning agility, which is from our model. And I'm going to be talking about the 7 agilities from our model. But one needs to change one's ways to the way of your thinking and actions. This can be anchored by change agility. But then new ideas are synonymous to thinking out of the box. So cerebral agility is certainly the segue for startups. Now, entrepreneurs are the master of their pockets. Therefore, the pockets can go dry at times. We've seen that many, many times. You know, Shishir, you know that you've written in your book as well, how, you know, the entrepreneurs and the, you know, startups, they can go dry at any time. So this is where emotional agility, just as an example, needs to be honed, because otherwise you're going to crumble and fall apart. Now, dealing with multiple entities as you try to grow your business comes hand in hand with politics. Just like how Michal said, you know, succumbing to it will not make the race smooth. So honing political agility is the prudent thing to do here. And of course, that brings me to having empathy in the people that one hires. This is something that you need to do as a startup company. And as an entrepreneur at the initial stages, you might be not so good at it. And as one grows the company, as explained in our education agilities, we got to put ourselves in their shoes, the people who we are hiring, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the natural next step is then the outcomes agility. To all the startups, and I really, this is like Michal said, this is, I can go on and on with this, but to all the startups and the entrepreneurs who are out there listening and who are going to venture in the future, from Agility Discoveries, Michal and I wish you all the very best.
Yep, exactly.
So, I found a lot of good insights for the startup entrepreneurs who are dealing with change. And I would like to add to that I had a women entrepreneur, a young women entrepreneur, Jewel Spencer from Intentional Media LLC. So I would introduce your personal agility lighthouse model to her as well, because she's right now dealing with a lot of changes, a lot of cash crunch. So I think that there it would be very useful to her as well, being a startup entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Shishir. And what you could do also is, you know, if she's going to buy the book, and like you said, it's only $9.95 as an ebook. And if she wants to send us an email, we're happy to do the self-assessment for her as well. Right, Michal?
Yes, of course.
That is great. So the book is out there at $9.95 US throughout
for
the week
ebook. It's an ebook.
For the ebook. Yes, throughout the month of February on Business Expert website. So please, I'll drop the link of your book and my book as well. So this huge heavy discount is running. So I will encourage people to buy it now. Coming to the buyers of your book. So Michal, I want to know exactly who are the target audience of your book? Who should purchase your book right now?
Right. So, yeah, nowadays almost all companies are affected by speed of market and the high speed of changes, and we can say we live in a VUCA world. I will explain that maybe later. And leaders in these companies are looking for the ways to manage the speed of change, manage this digitalization, and to lead a workforce that maintain knowledge-based work, basically. And so for many years, we as professionals, we are looking for some processes and tools that which help us to cope with this pace of change. And but at the end of the day, we have realized that now, and we understand more and more that we should look for the answer in us. So in our competences and on this personal level. And this in our, I mean, this discovers agility discovers minds. Personal agility is the future competence. And answering your question, audience of our book are the leaders and professionals who want to prepare themselves to this new world, fast changing world, who look for new ways of working, and for leaders who want to change companies and who want to influence the future. Yeah.
So Michal, there I would like to add, in the current scenario of this pandemic and the lockdown that has changed a lot of things. We are living in the new normal. So I would like to know from you, are there any insights which help us dealing with the new normal?
Yeah, of course. So this new normal and this, let's say Corona time. Yes. So let me share again my slides. Now it's like switched off. I don't know why, but I will make it later on. So no worries about no worries about slides. So yeah. So it's a question about the relevancy of the book and for the current time, let's say pandemic. So it's all about how we adapt, basically. And Corona times can be referred to different terms like VUCA, Black Swan, or a Great Rhino, and personal agility. This like on personal level is how we adapt and how we cope with the changes and how we adapt to this VUCA world. And this VUCA term, it can be explained as like a volatility. So it is the speed of change in any industry. Uncertainty, so refers to extent to which we can confidently predict the future, and complexity, so refers to the number of factors that we need to take into account, and ambiguity, so this lack of clarity, and we need to somehow manage this kind of world and this new normal. Let's call it that way, and we need to adapt to this some unpredicted changes. So this is why we can say this is like a black swan effect, and it will happen all the time. It's like new normal is that kind of changes like black swan even or great rhino even will happen all the time. It's this is for me kind of new normal, and this black swan even is something that we can't predict. It can be predicted, and it has profound effect on markets and on us. So we need to adapt. And on the other side, the great rhino is a known economic risk that people choose not to act on despite the potential for harm. And this is very important that we need to see more and to be prepared for this new normal. I mean, that kind of changes. So in both such events and in the VUCA, and personal agility is very relevant now. It guides us how and give us a way to hone flavors of personal agility. So this in our minds is vital for this new normal world, and the goal is to adapt to change as fast as possible. So master and hone flavors of personal agility.
So that is insightful. In terms of adaptability, your lighthouse model would be helpful in the times of Corona to be more adaptable to the things that we are
exactly
not aware of and we are not known to. So
Exactly.
me being a professional, I have I have learned more about your personal agility lighthouse model, and I have personally found that there are a lot of relevancy and how I can be benefited from it if I implement it. But like I would ask you, Reggie, as like the business expert press, our publisher, they are more into academics, like they are publishing books more for the academics, universities, institutions. So I would like to know how your personal agility lighthouse model is beneficial for academicians.
The one word that comes to my mind is transformation. The reason I'm saying transform, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but I do have a butterfly here. And butterflies, we have written about it in our book, and that's the reason why I'm pointing it out to you, the butterfly. The transformation and the metamorphism is amazing. You can bridge the gap between the practitioners and the academic in plenty of ways. And I don't think we have enough time to go through all of this. So what I'm just going to show, yeah, there you go. In the screen, you can see this is something that we did. Michal and I were closing keynotes for a research conference, International Project Management Research Conference last year. And the reason why we are showing this to you is because a chapter that we wrote applying our model will be published in April this year by Springer. And those who are watching, listening to this show, please look out for the book titled Research in Project, Program, and Portfolio Management, Projects as an Arena for Self-Organizing. Yes, it's way too long, but we didn't choose it. It's not our choice. It was International Project Management Association who chose it. So I'll say it again. It's a research in project, program, and portfolio management, projects as an arena for self-organizing. And the chapter that we wrote is about, you can see it on the screen as well, self-awareness. You take yourself and go and find out what you are. Then you assess yourself. That's self-assessment. Taking it all the way to self-organization. So we wrote about that, and that's why even in our book and in our agility discoveries, and when we do our workshops, we start with knowing yourself first, which is why we have the self-assessment and we tell you the index, etc. And also, something that I want to show you about how we build up. What is the build up towards our book? I know that we have touched on it a little bit. So the build up to our book, look at the random collection that we have. I mean, we just chosen a couple of them. There are plenty more. Since inception of Agility Discoveries in 2017, as you can see in the collage here, Michal and I have done a variety of involving engagements around the world in the academia, practitioner, and research world, the result of which is now in your hands as a book to read. So the reason I'm saying this is because to answer your question, Shishir, yes, we can bridge the gap between practitioners and academia, because that's very important. Even when you see all the researchers and all the doctorates doing their work, they always have to have an impact on the practitioners as well, because what is the future research? What is it that they're contributing to the larger world? It's just not their research. That's what it's all about. And to the audience and the listeners everywhere, believe us when we say it is an easy read. I think Shishir can vouch for that. Our book is, at least most of the people who have read it have said that it is a page turner. There are a lot of graphics and examples from many practitioners and academia. So isn't that right, Michal?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Does that answer your question, Shishir?
Yes, it does. And it builds up a lot of curiosity to know more about your book, and to read more about the applications as well.
Yeah.
So as we are now running out of time, I would like you to share how someone can reach out to you and where they can find your book. So what would be the best way to approach you?
Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's very easy to to reach us and to buy the book. So first, it's the easiest way is to you can find a lot of links to bookstores on our webpage, so agilitydiscoveries.com. Of course, you can for like some bulk purchases, you can drop us an email, ad@agilitydiscoveries.com. And you can use many different bookstores, like digital and let's say traditional ones, like Amazon or yeah, as we all know, Business Expert Press, and many different more. So it's available. It's in paper version and digital version, ebook. It's available.
Okay, that's great. So I will be dropping these contact details as well as the LinkedIn profile links of Raji and Michal for you in the description.
Actually, before you wrap up, Shishir, can I just show you a couple of slides because I want the audience to know this, if you don't mind?
Raji, I would say that we are running out of time.
No worries.
And
No worries.
I think because like there are so many insights that are still left, I would like to do a part 2 of this webinar with you.
No worries, no worries.
Because
why don't you share the slide with our LinkedIn and the Twitter, Michal? So that way, yes, there we go.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say that we have something coming in April, and that's what we have it shown. It's about resilience, because we've been talking about resilience, and it's on this 27th of April. We'd love for people to come there and listen to us. It's Best Practices Week of International Project Management Association. And of course, if anybody wants to do the workshop, please contact us. And thank you so much for having us, Shishir. We truly appreciate it.
And thanks a lot for your time and coming to my channel, The Strategy Ninja, and giving such insights that would be very useful to someone who is listening to or watching this webinar. And please, if you have any questions, drop it in the comment sections. So here I am signing off from India, and it was really nice connecting with you, and thanks a lot, and have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.